Now, the 3-week-long winter session is set to conclude tomorrow on December 19th, while the Lok Sabha has released the MGNREGA Bill. The crisis of worsening air quality in the capital that was supposed to be discussed today in the House was amid the ruckus over the MGNREGA Bill, with opposition protesting the new bill. Meanwhile, Congress MP Deepender Hooda called for a detailed discussion on air pollution in the Parliament. Yesterday, MP Chandrasekhar Azad protested inside the Parliament premises over Delhi pollution, holding a banner that read that the air is toxic and the government is missing. So let me in fact go across to my colleague who will be joining us from the Parliament. But remember that this is something that is not being discussed in the Parliament right now, even though a lot of the parliamentarians have in fact come to the fore and stated that there needs to be a discussion. However, the House was adjourned today because of the ruckus that the opposition created when the MGNREGA bill was actually renamed and it was passed. So, even though we have a lot of parliamentarians in fact coming to the fore and stating that we need a discussion on air pollution, when the time actually came to make sure that this discussion was held in the Parliament, the opposition created a ruckus over another issue and this discussion was not held. My colleague Manohar Kesri in fact has joined us live on the broadcast. Manohar, when we are looking at this, जब हम ये देख रहे हैं कि opposition leaders के ruckus की वजह से आज House adjourn हो गया, अब कल reconvene होगा, आज ये discussion होना था दिल्ली की एयर पोल्यूशन पे, बट अब वो नहीं हो पा रहा है. क्या ये इम्पोर्टेंट इशू नहीं है? एयर यहाँ पर टॉक्सिक है, एयर क्वालिटी बहुत ही ज़्यादा डिटोरिएट हो रही है, दिल्ली वाले सफ़र कर रहे हैं, बट जो ऑपोजिशन लीडर्स है वो डिस्कस ही नहीं करने दे रहे हैं ये इशू को.
देखिए, बिल्कुल लोगों की सेहत पे असर पड़ रहा है, लेकिन राजनीति जो है सो सेहत इन लोग की सही है. कहने का मतलब ये है कि लगातार आज लोकसभा में जी रामजी बिल को लेकर के जब केंद्रीय कृषि मंत्री इसका जवाब दे रहे थे, उसी दौरान बहुत जबरदस्त हंगामा हुआ, क्योंकि जो सवाल उठाए गए थे विपक्ष की ओर से उनका जवाब नहीं मिला. उसके बाद हंगामा हुआ और बिल पास हो गया, लेकिन एयर पॉल्यूशन इस हंगामे की भेंट चढ़ गया, क्योंकि जी रामजी बिल के बाद एयर पॉल्यूशन को लेकर के चर्चा होनी थी. दो स्पीकर थे, एक प्रियंका गांधी वाड्रा और दूसरा बीजेपी की ओर से बांसुरी स्वराज, दोनों को इस चर्चा में भाग लेना था. और शाम में करीब 5 बजे के आसपास केंद्रीय पर्यावरण मंत्री भूपेंद्र यादव इस पे जवाब देते कि सरकार की ओर से क्या क्या कदम उठाए गए हैं, केंद्र सरकार किस तरह से इस इशू को देख रही है. क्योंकि याद होगा बीच में पिछले हफ्ते ही प्रधानमंत्री की ओर से रिपोर्ट मंगाई गई थी कि आखिरकार दिल्ली सरकार ने अब तक क्या कदम उठाए हैं, किस तरह से वाटर स्प्रिंकलिंग किए जा रही है, किस तरह से वाटर गन का इस्तेमाल किया जाता है, कहाँ कहाँ साफ सफाई की जा रही है, किस तरह से एयर पॉल्यूशन को कंट्रोल करने के लिए सरकार की ओर से कदम उठाए गए थे. ये सारी रिपोर्ट जो है सो मंगवाई गई थी और उससे क्या कदम है, पीएम खुद इस पे जो है सो निगाह जानकारी उन्हें दी जा रही है. और ऐसे में आज जब इसे लेकर के चर्चा होनी थी, तो ये हंगामे की भेंट चढ़ गई है. बताया भी जा रहा है कि अपोजिशन की ओर से प्रियंका गांधी वाड्रा की ओर से काफी तैयारी की गई थी, तो वहीं बांसुरी स्वराज ने भी सरकार के पूरे पक्ष रखने के लिए तैयार थी.
जी हमारे साथ बने रहे मनोहर. Joining us on the broadcast is also Padma Shri Dr. Sanjeev Bagai, Chairman Nephron Clinic. Thank you so much, sir, for joining us on the broadcast. We appreciate your time. So, when we are looking at this issue, it's a public health emergency, and yet the parliamentarians don't seem to have the time to discuss this issue.
Good afternoon. I think this cannot be done by a single set of politicians. This resolution of finding a solution towards the hazards of air pollution cannot be done by a single party either. It cannot be done by a single state either. Most of the North India states are under a wrap of severe air pollution which is beyond hazardous. And the only thing which we as citizens can make a request to them is that they need to sit together, all the states put together, have a national policy as a guideline, be preemptive so that all 12 months a year these values are monitored. Look into the aspects of things which we don't talk about is the aerosol heavy metals, micro nanoplastics, apart from PM 2.5, all the other toxic gases like methane and other co-pollutants. This is damaging a host of body organs, including the fetus, including the pregnancies, stillbirths, metabolic disturbances, obesity, hypertension, strokes, cardiac disease, and so on and so forth. I think this is important that we now get really, really serious to it. I'm very, very certain that if we can get over the huge pandemic like COVID, we can definitely fight this together. We cannot eliminate air pollution, but I'm absolutely sure if we put our hearts and souls together, we can bring it down to a level in which the organ damage to human beings is a lot lesser. But we need consensus, we need time, this is important. The winter session will close soon, and then the full issue will go into next year. Come the sun and the summer and everyone forgets about the air pollution, even though the air pollution exists. We only talk about it in winter because it gets so exponentially exaggerated. But I think we need this on a war footing. We need to consider this on priority.
Absolutely. Dr. Bagai, also when you look at this issue, the current Delhi government has implemented a slew of measures. Obviously, these are short term, but they want to make sure that the current situation as well is reduced, the AQI is reduced. So they've introduced a lot of measures in order to curb pollution. They have the GRAP 3, 4, they have put in a ban on vehicles below BS6 from entering the National Capital Region. They have put a no PUC, no fuel rule. Do you think that these measures will make a difference in the short term?
Yes, these measures will tide over occasionally and only temporarily. I've always said this, that unless until we don't go to the origin, to the root of the problem, we will not find a solution. So each one has its own peculiarities and the solutions are different, be it from the crop burning of the farm fires, be it to the vehicular emissions, be it to the traffic congestion, the road dust, the polluting industries, various other factors locally which are responsible. I think we need to get this together. I have faith in the governments, I have faith in the politicians. After all, we've elected them. So we can't fight the system. We have to work within the system and with the system. So I think we need the politicians to sit together and form guidelines which are at a national level. You can't have various different guidelines, some for Maharashtra, some for West Bengal, some for Delhi. It has to be a uniformity so that every citizen in India has a right to breathe clean air.
And so when we're looking at this, public health emergency, do you think we should think about long term? Because what we are currently doing and what we have been doing over the past 10 to 15 years is we are looking at short term measures. We are looking at, stopping parali burning instead of providing alternatives to farmers. We are looking at that odd even scheme that failed. But do you think that now is the time to think of long term measures, because we will keep suffering otherwise in the years to come?
Yeah, so it cannot be day to day, week to week, month to month. I'm absolutely clear that we need a 5-year rollout plan. And every quarter, these values and results are monitored and made public. We need to make the people accountable. Now, there are high-powered committees which the Delhi government has formed, but now they need to deliver. They need to tell us what is happening. Because after all, it's the small children who are suffering the most, the elderly, the vulnerable, the people with comorbidities. Senior citizens cannot even go out for a walk. Children can't go and play in the park. They can't even go out to see the sunshine because there is no sun. So obviously it's affecting everyone's life. The cognitive ability of children, the mental stress, the level of depression, the level of scholastic backwardness, missing school, all these play a very important part in a family's life. So we need to take this collectively, holistically. We can't do it piecemeal. We need a long-term plan so that it's not only tiding over this winter. We want the next many winters to be a lot healthier.
Absolutely, sir. And when we're looking at it from a personal perspective, sir, the only thing that we as Delhiites can do right now is lock ourselves in a room, get those air purifiers, wear masks whenever going out. But what, according to you, should be the most important precaution that people should be taking during these next 2 months, sir?
The full concept of air purifiers, not even 0.1% of the Indian population can actually afford air purifiers. And the air purifiers only work in a limited given space of a room indoors, provided the doors and the windows are all sealed and closed. You can't have, even in wealthy families, you can't have air purifiers across the corridors, the rooms, and other areas, living rooms and so on. So it has limited value, especially at night, because you are in that room for 8-10 hours. But I think overall we have to look at measures which control, contain and prevent. So all these three words are important. At the present moment we are just doing firefighting. I don't want to get into any petty politics, but practically nothing much has been done in the last 10 years either. False promises, misleading statements, you put in crop from here and you will make cardboard from there. This is all nonsense. This is completely making a ridiculous fool out of the public. We need very serious measures. At the present moment, I still feel that we have faith in the government, be it in Delhi or be it in the center. We must work together. Whatever help, whatever advice is required, we are always there for them. We need a proper scientific committee to advise the government what needs to be done. Have a slow but sure rollout plan. Don't attack 20 items at the same time. Even if we can get over 1 or 2 obstacles this winter and then 1 or 2 more in the early part of next year, by the time we enter next winter, at least out of the 10 major points hurting us, 4 to 6 would be resolved.
And sir, when we're looking at a discussion between parliamentarians and politicians, I'll come back to you, sir, in just a moment. Joining us on the broadcast also via the phone line is Anshul Awasthi, Congress spokesperson.